Hello everyone. Being the child of a celebrity must feel great. Kids like that receive the most prestigious education, have access to all kinds of entertainment and expensive things, are popular among their peers, and can start a successful career in any field. But few know that being a celebrity kid has its downsides. Paparazzi who haunt you literally from birth, high expectations, and having to befriend people who want to take advantage of you. This all often makes these kids choose the wrong path. In today's video, we will tell you their stories. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel not to miss new videos. Let's get it on. Nicholas Van Varenberg. We all know the American actor Jean-Claude Van Damme from the many popular crime dramas with plots full of twists. However, the artist's life off-set could also serve as a plot for some movie. By the age of 60, the idol of millions has been married 5 times to 4 different women. He even married the former US bodybuilding champion Gladys Portugues twice. The famous actor has 2 children with the athlete, daughter Bianca, who's pursuing a career of a blogger and actress, and son Christopher, who's also conquering Hollywood. The 3rd child of Van Damme, Nicholas Van Varenberg, turned out to be quite a troublemaker, and by the time he turned 25, he'd already managed to cause a lot of problems. Nicholas's adventures became known to the general public in 2017. He was detained for possession of illegal drugs and holding his roommate at knife point. Surprisingly enough, Van Damme's son admitted his guilt and publicly apologized. Perhaps that is why he was given such a mild sentence, 1.5 years of probation. Some, however, think that his father had something to do with that. What do you think? Does the punishment fit the crime? Shiloh Nouvelle. Perhaps the last thing you can say looking at Angelina Jolie is that she is the mother of many children. Nevertheless, the world-famous actress is indeed raising 6 children, and 3 of them are adopted. Shiloh Nouvelle, who's 14 today, became the first biological child of the legendary couple, Pitt and Jolie. By the way, here's an interesting detail. The girl was born in Namibia out of the public eye. After a couple of weeks, the young parents decided to sell exclusive photos of Shiloh to 2 well-known magazines, making a total of more than $7 million on this. But don't rush to accuse Brangelina of being greedy. Naturally, all of this money went to charity. The famous actress raised her long-awaited daughter just like her other kids. No prohibitions and complete freedom of expression. So, the unique personality of the child began to manifest itself in unexpected ways early on. For example, Shiloh didn't particularly like girls' clothes. Instead of dresses and skirts, she wore jeans and hoodies. She also asked to call her John or Pete, like the character of the favorite cartoon Peter Pan. As she got older, Shiloh became an increasingly withdrawn teenager who clearly demonstrated a protest to the entire world. The divorce of her parents in 2016, which came as a shock to the whole world, only made matters worse. Shiloh, who was closer with her dad, became even more sullen, and constant traveling prevented her from making friends for life. The girl looks depressed in any photos. So many fans suspect that she might be having troubles with her emotional state. However, those close to the Star family claim Shiloh simply hates paparazzi, and you can understand why. J.C. Chan. Jackie Chan only acts as a bad guy only in some of his roles in action-packed films. In real life, this actor from Hong Kong is a very respected person. He holds the title of UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, enjoys membership in the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, and has an Academy Award for his contributions to the cinema. But the first son of the great actor isn't that exemplary. J.C. Chan was a problematic teenager. He didn't last a year in a prestigious American university, where he studied thanks to a wealthy dad. J.C. made it clear that the luxurious life and parties appealed to him much more. So, without thinking twice, the young man moved to Los Angeles and devoted himself to dancing, playing various instruments, and acting. Obviously, he wanted one thing: to become a star just as big as his father. To make his dream come true, J.C. really put in a lot of effort. He starred in action films and even recorded his debut album. However, his works were not commercially successful, so at some point the guy clearly gave up. So, in the summer of 2014, the Chinese authorities arrested him for possession of illegal substances. It was a grave situation. JC could have been sentenced to death. Fortunately, in the end, he only served 6 months behind bars. But that was enough for him to mend his ways. After his release, JC said that he'd started a new life. For the first time in many years, he reconciled with his father, who didn't try to mitigate the sentence of his son. By the way, in an interview, Jackie even said that his son won't inherit a dime from his wealth. Instead, he plans to donate most of the funds to charity, and it seems this is the right decision. This way, his money wouldn't be wasted. Ruslan Shamswarov. Most people enjoy their impunity too much and go completely nuts. An excellent example of that is the story of the president of the Russian oil company Lukoil. In 2016, he made the headlines of all major Russian newspapers, and not for being nice. Being an owner of the luxury Gelandewagen, the young man decided to race with the police cars in Moscow, all while broadcasting this experience to Periscope, a now almost forgotten social network. What exactly prompted Ruslan Shamswarov to pull this off is not very clear. Apparently, as a child, the guy loved to play GTA and lost touch with reality. One way or another, during the 2-hour chase, he seemed to have violated all the possible rules. In addition to the obvious speeding, the guy repeatedly crossed a double white line, drove onto the pedestrian walkways, and into the oncoming traffic. On top of all of this, he kept on insulting the police officers who were on his tail. Ultimately, Ruslan was placed in custody for 15 days and had to do 300 days of community service in his free time. Well, and his favorite SUV was confiscated as an instrument of committing an offense. Well, it could have ended up much worse. Presley Gerber. A charming woman like Cindy Crawford simply had to have divinely beautiful children, and the eldest son of the model, Presley Gerber, proves this point. At 21, he already appears on the pages of fashion magazines and stars in commercials for top fashion brands. However, 2 years ago, his career in the fashion industry could have ended. In early 2019, the celebrity kid was arrested in Los Angeles for drunk driving. Not only is this a serious crime, according to American law, Presley was also considered a minor at that time.
Oh, yeah.
After several months of legal proceedings, the son of the famous model was sentenced to 3 years of probation and has not yet been making any trouble. But we are sure he must have lost a couple of large contracts after this incident. Scout Willis. If some of our viewers sometimes doubt their parenting skills, all of these stories will surely bring them some sort of relief. After all, even the daughter of the cool Bruce Willis and the unsurpassed Demi Moore managed to make the life of her mum and dad quite hard. This story happened in 2012 when the girl was barely 20. Scout was detained at one of the stations of the New York subway where she casually drank a can of beer in front of everyone. Keep in mind that this is prohibited by law in the United States. As a result, the girl faced 3 charges: underage drinking, drinking in a public place, and giving the police a fake ID. Willis Jr. probably just got into some bad company. After all, before this incident, it was difficult to call her a problem child. Scout had an impeccable reputation at the university, which her lawyer later used as an extenuating circumstance. By the way, the move was smart, and the girl got off with only community service. Chet Hanks. Have you ever seen any Tom Hanks movie? Okay, that's probably a silly question. We mean that he most often plays an exemplary family man. Surely in real life his family must be perfect, right? Well, let us tell you, that's not quite the case. The eldest son of this celebrity, Chet Hanks, has been trying to pursue a career as a musician and actor for several years. Of course, he's not as gifted as his father, but in general, the guy shows some promise. However, there were also some troubles in his life. In 2015, he nearly went to jail due to a serious accident while DUI. A few months later, Chet destroyed a hotel room at Gatwick Airport, causing $1,500 in damages. For example, he tore a TV off the wall and threw it on the floor. For what reason? Only Chet knows. Later, it turned out that at that time, Chet suffered from a severe addiction and had to undergo a long course of rehabilitation. After that, the guy finally came to his senses, took an interest in sports, and even became a dad. However, Hanks Jr.'s rebellious character has not gone away. Not so long ago, for example, he was harshly criticized online for parodying a Jamaican accent. Marcus Jordan. Few athletes have managed to leave such a great legacy in the history of sports as the legend of the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. In the 90s, everyone was his fan. He became the world's first billionaire athlete, and our descendants will surely remember his name in the roster to basketball stars. However, his life was not always that great. The details of his personal life have shocked people more than once, and he lost the title of basketball king due to his weakness, a gambling addiction. It'd be strange to expect that the son of the legendary player Marcus will inherit only a talent for sports from his father. Of course, he also got Michael's violent temper. In 2012, he was detained for resisting arrest and disorderly conduct. The police also wanted to detain him for indecent behavior in one of the Florida hotels. Marcus tried to get involved in a fight with two unknown women. Not very gentlemanlike behavior, don't you think? However, the guy didn't even have time to get scared. In a couple of hours, he was released from the police station on bail. Marston Hefner. The founder of Playboy, Hugh Hefner, has been surrounded by beautiful women all of his life, which is not surprising. And of course, he was criticized for the exploitation of the female body and disrespect for models all of his life. Nevertheless, these allegations never brought him to a court trial, which can't be said about his son Marston. He ended up in the dock in 2012 on charges of beating his girlfriend, one of the most famous Playboy models, Claire Sinclair. In addition, it was alleged that in the heat of a quarrel, the guy even smashed his beloved's laptop. As a result, Marston was sentenced to 13 months of the correctional program for people prone to violence. Well, Claire has also obtained a restraining order against Marston. However, the treatment clearly helped Marston. He began to lead a much quieter lifestyle, and a year ago he married an actress, Scarlett Byrne. You may know her for her role as Pansy Parkinson in the Harry Potter saga. We hope that their relationship is full of love and harmony. Hey buddy, are you tired of watching videos about cute animals and heartwarming stories? You need something more serious in your life. Tough cars, cool robots, and the most unusual gadgets in the world. Get the high-tech adrenaline rush you need on TechSound. Subscribe now. We are waiting for you.